Michelle from Michelle's Reading Rockstars here. I am a book lady, but I am also a social worker by trade, and I work with families with foster care and adoption. And one thing that really drew me to Usborne Books and More was the amount of books that we have that really can help children that may have some additional needs. So I really wanted to show you some of those today. Starting with some of our books that are wonderful in terms of sensory integration or maybe sensory concerns. These are the That's Not My Books. And in addition to having very simple repetitive text, they also have really, really wonderful textures on all of the different pages that the child can feel, can really help them get some extra sensory input. Some of these may also be very soothing for children that have sensory concerns or maybe are on the autism spectrum in terms of them being able to touch and feel. We have many, many of these, over 50 actually. Another great series is our finger trail series, and these also have very simple flaps and finger trails that can really help with sensory integration as well as fine motor and even some beginning pre-reading skills in terms of feeling textures from left to right. Wonderful. This is another one of my favorites with lots of different textures and colors. This is Animal Hide and Seek. And this has a lot of interesting textures, rough and smooth. Also really great for visual scanning because you have to find the little duck on each page. Like my son happens to have a concern with his vision, and this really helped in terms of him having to search and find the little duck on every page. So it really helps him have to work his eyesight. In addition to those type of texture books, we have many, many other books that are wonderful working with fine motor. Wipe cleans, we have tons of them. We have alphabet, we have first words, we have many, many different ones. We have doodles, we have pen control. So just to show you one, this is one of my kids' favorite. This is Wipe Clean 1, 2, 3. This is something you can obviously do hand in hand, hand over hand with, and help that child trace and really learn that motor memory. And then as the child gets older, you can also let them do it on their own. This is also great to take to like restaurants and things to keep kids engaged. This is another one of my favorites. This is There's a Mouse About the House. This is a wonderful book for fine motor. You have to follow the little mouse through all the slots, and it shows you, there's a story that goes along with it, and you make the mouse move through the book and on each page. And what's wonderful about this book is it also teaches pre-reading skills in addition to fine motor because the pages all go from left to right. Some simple flaps as well. This is a really wonderful book if you're working on fine motor. Little Bear Needs Glasses. This comes with little glasses on each page. You can see that my kids have kind of messed with them, and each one you have to find and see, oh, did it, you have to try them on the different animals till you find the right fit on Little Bear. You can see my son put the glasses on that one. You just keep trying them on. It's a sweet story about sharing as well because they're all helping Little Bear find the right glasses for him. But also wonderful, and these are reusable, so every kid that likes stickers, this is a good book for them. Some more that work fine motor, the Under the Sea magic painting, and all of our magic painting books are paint with water, so they're no mess, and the child can take the pen, the magic pen or the paintbrush and really work on paint strokes. This is actually so you can put underneath the page so that they don't bleed onto the next page. We've got this in fairies, we've got it in just regular, we've got a Christmas one, we've got all sorts of them. Our sticker books are absolutely gorgeous and also perfect for working with fine motor skills. They actually also teach information, like this one teaches all about different famous ballets, but you have to take the scenes here, and then you've got all of these ballerinas and different things from the ballet, and you put them in the scene. Another wonderful fine motor book. This is a great book in terms of working not only your motor skills, but also really helps learning concepts. This is Lip to Flap Colors. We have First Math, we have Numbers, we have a few others. And what I love about this book, other than the flaps, is that it really teaches colors in a lot of different ways. There's matching games, like match the fish to the color penguin bow tie. There's find this within the scene, so it has some visual scanning and stuff. It has some color mixing. It just really teaches the concept in a lot of different ways, and sometimes we have kids that have a little extra need in terms of that. Another thing that I think is really great about Usborne Books and More is we offer a lot of books about activities of daily living. Some kids may have a little harder time with brushing teeth or combing hair or taking a bath if they have certain sensory issues, or perhaps if they're on the autism spectrum. This one happens to be about brushing your teeth, and it just tells a really cute story about why you need to brush your teeth and why you shouldn't be afraid of it. So I think these are really wonderful. Like I said, we have quite a few topics, sleeping, eating kinds of stuff, but really cute story. This is one that every family should have. This is Everyone Poops. This is a story that just kind of normalizes using the bathroom. That can be really scary for all little kids. I know that my kids had some struggles in that department of being afraid, especially to go number 2. That's true, you know, maybe that's too much information, but it's true. And this book really normalizes how everyone has to go to the bathroom and all living animals eat, and so all living animals have to use the bathroom. Some of my favorites for speech therapy. This is a great one. This is Dan the Taxi Man. The reason I like this one in terms of working with speech is that it's got lots of repetitive language, but also like fun sounds. So it says, beep, beep, Dan the Taxi Man, going to the show and picking up the band, hop inside while you still can with Dan, beep, beep, the Taxi Man. And then each instrument has a sound. So this one says, shake a shake, crash, shake a shake, crash. And then there's, you know, there's a saxophone right here. This one says, squeebity-dee, squeebity-doo. So it's really fun. It's silly. Kids laugh, but it's also wonderful for working on sounds and just getting kids engaged. Another favorite of mine for speech is You Choose. This is kind of an interesting one because there's not a ton of words in this book. But the reason I like it is because it forces the child to talk to you about what kind of decisions, in a nice way. It says, if you could go anywhere, where would you go? And then you have the child point or pick where they might be interested in going and ask them why. It gets them talking. It gets them talking about, you can ask more questions. And they get to make the decisions. Like this says, who would you like to be your family and friends? So it's really just used as a jumping off point for talking more, which I really like. So that's You Choose. Another one, there goes my avalanche of books over there, that I really like for speech is Muddle and Match. The reason I like this one, this is great for all little kids, they love the flaps too, but is that it has wonderful alliteration in it. So you can see that you can make different stories, but on the first page it's all P's. Pete, the plucky pirate, pleads with Percy, his peculiar parrot. And it just goes on from there, but you can also mix it. So there's a lot of alliteration as well as consonants and assonance in it. Billy B and Hey Jack. These books are really wonderful. These books were written the author wrote it for their son, I believe, who had dyslexia and was having a hard time reading. And so one of the things I really like about this is no more than 50 words a page, and the words do not go over the binding. So it makes the eye it's a lot easier to read. The eye doesn't have to jump around so much. These are beginning chapter books. They feature in each other's stories, Billy B and Hey Jack, so they kind of go hand in hand. Wonderful for your child that might have dyslexia or other reading disabilities. Hello Happy and No Worries. These are two books that are brand new. These are activity books for children that either might struggle with some anxiety or dealing with stress, or maybe they can't really identify their anger and their emotions. These actually help children identify their emotions and cope with them using doodling and using coloring and using just fun little activities. Today I'm feeling, so this is really great for labeling emotions, and we know that children have a hard time sometimes explaining or even understanding why they might feel a certain way. So these are really, really wonderful for that, for all kids, I think. And then last but not least, just wanted to address your reluctant reader, because sometimes we think children might have reading issues and they just are not really interested. Maybe they're not interested in fiction or what they're doing in school. So we have tons of these nonfiction Lift the Flap books. This happens to be a questions and answers book with who, what, when, where, why, and it's about nature. You can see there, why do we need worms? And then it explains that. Worms dig up the soil and feast on dead leaves. So it's great in terms of keeping a child engaged, but also tons of facts. And maybe your child's more interested in nonfiction. We also have a lot of true stories and nonfiction stories. Or maybe if your child's more into facts and just really doesn't grasp or doesn't like fiction, even something as simple as these cute little pocket books. This one happens to be about mammals that has information about all different animals. Might be a better pick for them. They might find it more interesting and they might be more likely to read with it. So just some handy suggestions. Hope that you found this helpful. You can find me on Michelle's Reading Rockstars on both YouTube and Facebook. Thanks.